train station is in Annata Bay. If you look in the far back, you can see the Annata Bay Hospital. From time to time, Big Stone always used to get sick because I always used to be in the river. And my mom and dad would take me all the way to this hospital many years ago. We're talking about almost 50 years ago. Okay? So today, we're starting on a journey because I want the rest of the world to know my life was very simple. I grew up extremely poor. And when I used to go to Kingston to visit my brother and my sister Faye and brother Lanny, we used to come to this train station right here. And my father used to just warn me not to wet the bed because I always wet the bed when I was flying those that takes you from the Dover Road going on to Buff Bay, and this road will take you all the way into the district
of community of Enfield, 7 miles southeast of Annata Bay. One might wonder, how did this community get its name? This community got its name Enfield because before Enfield is a big plantation, the Fort Stewart plantation. So this is considered the end of the plantation, the end of the field. So we got its name from being the end of the field. So all of us basically are runaway slaves who couldn't take the plantation living anymore. So we move away from the plantation, so to speak in a Jamaican terms, like maroons. So hence we are Enfield, end of the field.
As we now enter the Fort Stewart area of Enfield, this is what it used to be back in the days when I was a kid coming up, right? There was a wonderful walk from Annata Bay, which is a little town that will take you right into Enfield. Now, back in the 60s and the 70s, growing up in Enfield was a wonderful, beautiful place. Everybody knows everybody, and it was a place where you can have fun, people share, and it was just a wonderful, beautiful experience as a kid growing up in this Enfield. So we just want you to understand that back in the days, I was extremely poor. My mom and dad were very, very poor. We could not afford much of anything, much less anything. And I want to tell you this, my grandmother, because I didn't get a chance to know my grandfather, but my grandmother was extremely rich. But for some reason, she just didn't like the children of Rodney Sinclair, which is my father. She always turned a bad eye when it comes to us. We couldn't get nothing from the property. Matter of fact, even if we were hungry, and me and my brother Glenn and my sister Janet and Una, because those were the ones that were actually at that age in that time growing up in Enfield, we dare not go to my grandmother's property and take anything. You can't take a breadfruit, you cannot take a pear, you cannot take a tangerine, and you cannot take an orange, because she disliked us so much. She told me at one time that, Claude, you're not a stone. You do not belong to my son, Rodney. And I felt very bad as a kid growing up. I really, really felt bad, because everybody had a grandparent that they used to hug and kiss and so on. But I never had the opportunity to hold my grandmother and hug her and tell her how much I love her and appreciate her. You know, my father's mother. And it still bothers me to this day to know that I've done so much with my life. You know, I've met a lot of people, I've been introduced to a lot of grandparents and so on. But I've never had the opportunity to actually sit down with my grandmother, you know, and have a rapport. So it really hurts. This is part of the journey that really hurts. But guess what? It's gonna get better. Alright, so to sit tight. This little bridge here can only hold one vehicle at a time. I remember when I was about 5 years old, because I used to play in the river, I came down with pneumonia. And me coming down with pneumonia, my father had a 150 bike, I'll never forget. And I took sick, say about 1 o'clock in the morning, and my father would put me on that little 150 bike and ride me all the way in the dark, because picture this, there was no street light, there was no form of electricity in the 60s growing up in Enfield. So in the pitch of darkness, my father would you know, ride and take us to the hospital using this stretch of road. Very dark, very, very dark. Alright? So stay tuned, the journey continues with Big Stone and the trek to Enfield. Shooting. Tony, what kind of memories you have about this pipe right here, man? When I was a little kid, this pipe used to be taller than me. Now I am taller than this pipe. I cannot believe it. This pipe has been here over 50 years. Right here. When there's no water elsewhere, you can come and get water right here. And Tony, let's walk across, because right across from this pipe is the clinic. This is the clinic that we all used to go to when we were kids. If we have the common cold, we used to go. What was the name of the nurse?
I may remember Miss Brown.
There was a nurse by the name of Miss Brown back in the days.
Yes, about 3 nurses behind one another named Miss Brown.
That used to be right here?
Yes, it's right there. It's right there and nurses. All this has been early development in the 50s, late 50s. This community was, this is what I'm saying earlier on, that we used to have just about all facilities, you know. And it used to be such a community spirit. Now let us look at it. This spot here, this clinic is on.
Yes.
Was given by the owner of the land across there. The
Wow.
house across there. Donated it.
Donated this land.
This land.
Wow.
The clinic.
Wow.
Such was a community spirit. And the recognition of the fact that health is important.
Yes, yes.
That a person would sacrifice
Because this is money. This is prime land. It's right there in the front of the road.
For the development of the community, and for us this day to now stand in front of as a monument, well serving the community, well after 60 years.
Well after 60 years. So that was before I was born, right? But I cannot forget this clinic. I remember one day, right? We was up by Enfield in the square, and my mother, it was rice and peas, and you know the big herring?
Yeah.
They used to have this big herring, the fresh herring. But when my mother took out the herring, we used to fight for the tin. Because, you know, we have to lick out the herring tin. So you see this cut right here? Look, I want to show you this cut right here. I got this cut fighting over a fish herring. Me and my sister Yuna. Because I said, give me this fish herring. Mama, give it to me. I want this fish herring tin. So we are back and forth with this fish herring tin. You know what I mean? And I got cut right here. I'll never forget. So this clinic means a lot to me. And I'm very happy, Tony, that it still stands. It's still active, right?
Still active. Over time,
yes,
we have become more modernized in terms of transportation. So the argument has been, not to my satisfaction, of course, because I still feel that a resident nurse would do us well.
A resident nurse.
A resident nurse, because that is where we are coming from. We
exactly.
Are a resident nurse.
So why should we go backwards instead of forward?
I think we should go forward. But we have the occasional visit once a month by the doctor. We still look about like pregnancies and maternity thing and all that.
Okay.
But as it relates to meeting the day-to-day needs in terms of whatever tragedy may happen, we are not responding to that in this clinic anymore, because the thinking by the authorities is that no transportation regularly. So
they can wish somebody to Another Bay. Right, but Another Bay is still minutes away. I don't care how good the roads are. Right, so and that means life is the difference between life and death.
Yes, training. So it's good
if they reactivate a resident nurse
at its fullest.
At its fullest. Yes. So the Minister of Health, right, we're appealing to you, we're coming to you straight as a former resident of this community. But I can't say farmer because I'm always a resident of Enfield. I want you to do the right thing and to make sure. Because we still have a lot of elderly people.
I just said to the minister also that that thinking of not to be subsidizing Enfield, the health center, is outdated. Enfield is now the third largest community in St. Mary.
In St. Mary?
In St. Mary.
Over 7,000 residents.
7,000.
Wow.
With you, the government, who have allotted over 540 lots in a foot strut, will mean 540 families.
Right.
Multiply that by 4, and we had in another 2,000, so 9,000.
Yes.
This is equaling to anywhere. So when you look at the future development, there's no time to go backwards.
I agree with you, Tony.
It's a time to think of how do we strengthen the infrastructure we have.
And move forward. Thank you very much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The clinic that takes care of Big Stone and Tony when we were little boys. More to come on this journey of Big Stone. The famous Enfield Bridge. But it's not the original bridge as when we started out as little boys.
7 years ago. 7 years ago, the river.
What damage?
Damage done, washed away. Damage, seriously damaged the structure of the bridge, and after years it caused some cracking. But if we should go by the abutment, now,
let's take a walk.
We could see the origin of the bridge.
So the original foundation
is still there.
Okay, with dates, do we have dates?
Dates are there.
Okay, so we're going to take a look, take this walk, and we're going to see the original foundation of this bridge. I remember as a little boy growing up, Tony, water used to be all up here. Yes. This used to be deep. Big deep all over there. Remember we used to see. So, look at this. We're talking about, what is this, Tony?
The 18th of September 1929.
The 18th of September 1929. Wow. Wow. And you can pilot and see the other side of the bridge. Which I guess those are the same writings going to be there. The 18th of September 1929. Now what people do here, people come, as you can see, people wash their clothes. And take a look. You see people still spreading out their clothes, washing their clothes on the river.
Coming just still on that sea by the river.
People still cook at the river? I used to know that. You know what was my fun moment? My fun moment was when it was breadfruit season.
Yes, sir.
Ackee and breadfruit. Right? As you can see, look, right here. Look, take a look. This was somebody's fireplace right here. Firestone, take a look and see. This used to somebody's fire. So many breadfruit have been cooked right here. And if you look at the structure, right, you see that it is not the original foundation that the bridge started with. They actually removed the entire bridge and replaced it with this, using the same original foundation, I guess. Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Enfield Bridge that I used to walk on. And I tell you, when I was a little boy, this was a huge bridge.
Right there used to be one I keep this cool.
In the river?
Yes. We used to go on top of the bridge.
And jump off.
Chuck out, yeah.
But let me tell you something, right? You see this river right here? It is known as Dry River.
Don't take it like that.
But don't take this river. My father used to say, when Dry River put on in khaki clothes, walk round. I remember my brother Glenn. Glenn used to be very risky. Glenn used to take a lot of risks. So if rain is falling and the river come down, instead of Glenn use the bridge, then we try to cross the river. So my father had just bought him a pair of them plastic slippers. And Glenn decided that he should walk across the river that is coming down. And guess what? He lost one of the slipper. And let me tell you something, Tony. Him get a backside feet. I can't forget. But guess what? Luckily, when the water subsided, 2 days later, he found the slipper hooked up in a rock. So this river, though, don't take it like, even if there's no water running heavily and it's just a trickle, between the twinkling of an eye, it can turn from being a trickle to this magnificent river coming down on you. So this is a great experience for me to come back here and relive those great moments. And I thank you for you know, watching and sharing this great moment with me, because this brings back great. Any particular memories you want to share with this particular? Because I know you are the historian. Tony Gutsmore is the historian of Enfield. He knows everything.
Like many persons will tell you that many of us as swimmers, are young swimmers, learn the hard right here.
I used to, I almost drowned right underneath this bridge, you know. This is where I learned to swim, you know. My brother Norman Sinclair, we used to call him Lanny. Lanny saw me struggling one day. I couldn't breathe. I was trying to, the water was deep, I was trying to go, and I keep sinking. And Lanny chuck off into the water and grabbed me and said, Claude, I'm going to teach you how to swim. And from that day on, Big Stone is moving. I can swim. So my brother Lanny, anywhere you are in the blue beyond, Big Stone love you and will always remember that you was the one that was responsible for making me be the excellent swimmer I am. Now you know where we're going.
Big Stone.
We're going to the great Big Stone. So watch it. Tony, we have some stories to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again on this famous tour of Enfield. Myself, Big Stone, and Tony Gutsmore is just taking you through the community. And for those who left here at a young age, we kind of refresh your memory to show you what the place looked like now in 2015. This stone, this great Big Stone, is where I got my name from. Now let me tell you how the name Big Stone came and my family. Now my great-grandfather was very poor, because the Sinclair family was very poor. We were very poor. We were a very poor family growing up in this community. And this stone was like a shelter rock, because when we were kids, you could actually go underneath this stone and shelter from the rain. Now I don't even think I can fit. Can I fit underneath the stone anymore? I don't think I can fit underneath the stone anymore, but this is it. This is a great Big Stone. My great-grandfather was very poor, and at about 6 o'clock, you know, back in the days, 6 o'clock is dark. 6 o'clock is like midnight. So it was drizzling a little bit, so my grandfather was coming from Junior Pen, so he decided to come underneath the stone and, you know, shelter from the rain. While he was underneath the stone, he was mumbling to himself, because, you know, time was so hard, and he kept saying, boy, I have all the picnic them, and I don't know how I'm going to take care of this picnic, these children, because the money is not there. You know what I mean, Tony? But my grandfather did not know that there was a man standing on the top of the stone. So while he was there underneath the stone talking to himself, I said, my God, I do not know how I'm going to make it out. The man said on the top of the stone, I see a sicker man than you make it. You see, when my great-grandfather heard a man on top of the stone, he didn't know it was on top of the stone. He actually thought the stone was talking to him. So what he did was, he ran like 10 crazy men and got to Enfield and said, people in Enfield, I was sheltered underneath this big stone. And while I was there talking to myself, the stone talked back at me. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is how my great-grandfather got the name Big Stone. This is the stone. But I can tell you something though, Tony, and this is what I realize. It is like a birthright. When I say it's like a birthright, I notice of all the children for my great-grandfather coming down, that the name Big Stone sticks on was one that is excellent. My father was very poor, but he could read and write very well. As a matter of fact, my father could read and write so well that they had him doing the duties sometime of a pastor, committing body to the ground and talking at funerals and talking on political platform and all that. But this stone brings great memories to me. All right? And I thought I would share it with the world. Tony, any fond memories of this great big stone right here?
This is our lot of memories.
Tell us some more of the spirit.
About the entire community.
Have a story to tell.
In our generation, went to school in Enfield, which we will visit shortly.
We'll visit the school shortly, right?
And this stone, like you say, is significant to your family because it actually gives you a name. And it is befitting that some prominent person should carry
Yes.
this stone name because of the numerous activities that take place here. In my earlier time at school, of course, there were no knives and sticks and so there. When we have a little grievances, we used to be very pugilistic about it.
Pugilistic. You notice how Tony used these words?
Yeah.
We were very pugilistic about it.
We would tend to think, all right, man, all right, wait till we reach on a big stone.
This was like a marking spot. Like, this is where the fight starts. This is a combat zone.
Yes.
Right here, this big stone right there.
You know, if you have a bone to pick with a man, you tell him, tell it, meet me a big stone.
All right. All right, come out to the road there. Come out to the road there.
And therefore it became well known as a place where we split hairs and have our differences sorted out once and for all.
You know what came to my mind though, Tony? Seriously. Whenever I get very rich, because it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. Big Stone is going to be a multi-billionaire. All right? I plan to come here late one night with a truck and thief the stone there. But I know I could not get out of Enfield with this stone. Not because my family got the name Big Stone from this stone. I don't own this stone. This stone belongs to the people of Enfield. And the people of Enfield would do me bodily harm if I come and take this great landmark. All right? So it is a privilege and pleasure once again for me to bring you here from the four corners of the world and to show you that out of humble places, greatness can appear. All right? Out of humble places, greatness can appear. And that's where we're going now. Enfield School?
Enfield.
We're going to Enfield School, so sit back, you know, the things just start get sweet. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with Big Stone. Today, I'm very happy. Today, I'm somewhat sad because it brings back great memories and memories that cannot be explained by me just talking about it. Memories that I had to take you to where it all started for me. I'm 58 years old in July. And when I met this lady, I was only 2 years old. I was only 2 going out 3 years old. And the reason why I'm a little bit sad is because she taught me everything that I know. Everything that I know. I cannot remember a time in my life when I cannot read or write very well. And I have to have this lady right here. Because if it had not been for Miss Girlie Brown, Big Stone would be nothing. I would be nothing without this lady. Miss Girlie, when I came into your class 56 years ago, you see how long ago was that, Miss Girlie? 56 years ago. I remember something that you taught me. And I will carry it to my grave. I will always remember you because of it. It goes something like this. Now the day is over, night is drawing night, shadows of the evening teal across the sky. I remember it so well because Miss Girlie was very important to not just me, but to my big brother Glenn, to my big sister Lorna, my little sister Una. Miss Girlie taught us, even when she was busy cooking, Miss Girlie would be teaching us. Miss Girlie would be washing twice, once or two, and Miss Girlie would be teaching us. So if it had not been for this lady, nothing that I have achieved, nothing that I have would be possible if it had not been for her. So we bring you back to Enfield to show you where it all started for me. And a lot of people, when they become somebody, when they become famous, they tend to forget the roots of where it all started. I can never ever forget Miss Girlie. Miss Girlie, I want to say, a lot of people are going to be watching this, right?
Yes, sir.
So I just want to thank you very much for paying the attention that you gave to us. Each and every one of us was very important to you.
Amen. Amen.
Each and every one of us was very significant to you. And you never had to whip us. Miss Girlie never laid her hands on me.
No.
She never beat me. She have never done anything bad to me, more than teach me. You understand? I remember when I used to have my slate. You remember the lead pencil, Miss Girlie?
Yes.
Miss Girlie had a little school. I won't take it to where the school used to be. There's no building there anymore.
No.
But I know that school will always be visual to me in my art.
True.
And I want to thank you also on behalf of my brothers and my sisters for making us who we are today.
Amen.
Okay, Miss Girlie.
Amen.
Miss Girlie, how old are you now?
I can't even remember, you know.
Give me an idea, Miss Girlie, about how old you are now.
But, you know, sometimes I say 70 something, but I can't remember the rightful time.
Yes.
So,
I think 70 had gone on 80, right?
Yes.
89. Miss Gurley is 89 years old. And I'm very happy that we was able to come all the way from Kingston and to pay our respect to one of the greatest, one of the greatest individual, one of the greatest person in Enfield. And this is this lady. And like I tell you, I would never, ever amount to anything if it had not been for this lady who was loved me, right? Taught me and taught me very well. I cannot, Miss Girlie, remember a time in my life, Tony, when I cannot read or write very well. And this is a lady that is responsible.
So like you, there are also many others who... One of the greatest things is to realize and to be with somebody who was taking you from ignorance to knowledge.
It's great.
Let me just expound a little bit.
Yes, of course.
Not only was our life involved in education, it did involve every aspect of the life of this community. I cannot remember, I cannot think of a part of this community that she was never involved in. She was a pioneer in the agricultural development.
She was.
Sure.
Wow.
She led many sectors.
Everything.
Her effort, and I want to say, in education, was solely her own. Didn't have a government input. It was an initiative carried by her and her dream for a better Jamaica and a better community.
True.
Wow.
You know, I am indeed saddened to see a life that has contributed so much to education is today without a pension.
Wow.
Having given so much to so many for so little. And we have given from time to time token recognition, a little certificate, of gratitude and all of that. But she deserved far more than that. She deserved far more than that. And I like to say it could be an effort by us as a community to see how we can make something meaningful, tangible, to commit to her well-doing.
Exactly.
Before that honorable time might come.
Well said, Tony, well said. And I tend to support Tony 100%. And I want you viewers out there, I'm a little bit taken back, you know, I'm a very emotional, Big Stone is a very emotional person. And when someone that is so close to me, because all through my 57 years of living, I've never ever forget this lady. I've never ever gone a week without thinking about Miss Girlie, because Miss Girlie was the one that started it all for us. I doubt if we pay her. I doubt if my mom or my dad had money to pay Miss Girlie. She never turned us away from the school. She never ever turned us away from school. She always welcomed all of us. And because of our work, I was able to become a member of the Jamaica Defence Force. Because of this lady's work, I was able to become a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. For this lady's work, I was able to move on to college in the United States of America. And it all started right here in Enfield with this lady making sure that Claude, you say, Claude, come on, Claude. You know you have to read, Claude, come on. And Miss Girlie was there. So I'm saying again, Miss Girlie, to the entire world, right? Because we want people to look at this. We want people that, ex-student, if there's no official government fund, but Tony, we could start like a, like a ex-student kind of thing where we can pull up our thing and to make her comfortable, so that the day, when that day comes, hope it never comes. I hope you live to be 1,000,000 years, Miss Girlie. I love you so much, you wouldn't believe it. I love you so much.
Yes. As I remember, you know, remember.
I love you so much.
Remember, go for up them up and nice with them, man. Nice.
I remember so much.
Choo.
Thank you.
Choo.
We're gonna go and tour the rest. And before we leave, I'm gonna come back and see you, Miss Girlie.
Yes, dear.
Okay?
Yes, dear.
But I'll never, ever forget you.
Sometimes we remember some, but sometimes we can't remember everything.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'll come back and see you.
Okay, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Miss Girlie Brown, a pioneer, a person that give of her love selflessly to all of the students that came into her class, and I'm talking about hundreds. Whoever became somebody had to go to Miss Girlie Brown School. Whoever became anybody has to go through Miss Girlie Brown School. Alright? And we only hope that in Enfield we start a basic school, right? And name it in her honor, because this lady is a giant. And that's why I brought the camera crew in, for the world to know that without this lady, I would be nothing. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I love you.
Thank you. Love everybody.
Okay.
Love everybody.
Soon come back here. Now, Tony, we're going back now, for me, at least 56 years ago. 56 years ago, when I was only 2 years old, this was where I used to attend Miss Girlie Brown Basic School. This used to be a nice building right here. If you can see the replica of the post. The post is still here. The original column is still here of what the building used to be. And I remember underneath the cellar, there used to be some old bikes and all that kind of stuff there. So when Miss Gurley would give us a little recess, we used to go underneath the cellar and play on the bike. And you know, it was fantastic. It was a wonderful time. But I remember though, loving school so much and loving the work that Miss Girlie Brown did. I remember when the time reaches, say, 4 o'clock. I remember back in the days we used to go to school for all day, you know. We used to go to school from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's why we learned so much, because we spent a lot of times in the classroom. But I remember this song, and I want to sing it right here because it really means a lot to me. I don't know if you remember, but I do. Now the day is over, night is drawing nigh, shadows of the evening steal across the sky.
And as you said a while ago,
Yes.
of course now look at it. Many persons, certainly below 40 years of age, doesn't know of it.
Doesn't know of this building right here as a school.
And like you said, school used to keep all day.
All day.
Not just because of the time that is involved, 8 to 4, no. But 8 to 4 is significant because this being a working community, it was not just a school, it was also a nursery.
Just of course, because we're 2 years old.
And parents that was to go to work, so that is the sacrifices the teachers made then to keep the children until the parent came back home.
Exactly.
Such is the contribution that Miss Girlie Brown made to this community. Nobody out there over 40 can say that she was not the person, because this was the only basic school
In all of Enfield.
in Enfield proper.
All of Enfield, this was the only basic school. So if you look, just pan down into the gully there, Firestone. Pan down into the gully, because we used to ride the coconut bow.
Yeah.
You remember when we were little boys, we used to get them slides, and we used to use the coconut bow, and we used to ride down this hill. And we had a beautiful, I don't remember getting into a fight. We never used to fight when we were children. Of course, we have our little squabbles and so on, and so you take away a pencil, you take away a slate, you do this, you do that. But by the time the end of the day, we'd all go home as friends, as how we started. And that's why I beg this community. I beg the people that is left now in charge of this community to honor these values and to carry them forward into the future, because these values that was displayed by Miss Girlie Brown was what made us who we are today. Right? So Miss Girlie Brown, again, this is where it started for Big Stone, and not just me, Janet Sinclair, that used to write advice to the Love Lord. It started right here for Janet as well, and for Glenn, right, my bigger brother. It started right here for Glenn too. So my entire family, oh, Miss Girlie Brown, everything that we've had, trust me.
To put it bigger, the entire community.
The entire. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen, Girlie Brown Basic School, and we continue now to the biggie, from Girlie Brown Basic School to Enfield Primary. So Tony, we can take a look now. Right. Don't step on the people. Well, Firestone, Tony, this bridge here. Remember Butu?
Yeah, man.
Butu the tailor used to be on the far right there. And this is the Enfield Bridge. And
Jolly over on the
you remember Jolly? You used to have a bar and the sound system right there. We used to live right here. Put the camera right here.
Operate a bakery right here.
My father, the original Big Stone, used to operate a bakery right here. I used to live in this yard. I used to go down to the spring there and take coffee from the from the spring. But it was a wonderful experience for me. This can take you now to White Hall. Is it still used? They still use it?
Yes, but not vehicular.
Oh, just people just walking
Yes,
up.
walking.
What's the distance from here to White Hall?
From here to White Hall, 3 miles.
3 miles. So 3 miles walking. All right, now I want you to...
Over here used to be the teacher's cottage.
The teacher's cottage used to be over here.
Yes.
Now I want you to take a look at this hill. You see this hill here, Firestone?
Yeah, I see it.
You see how we're going up? This used to be a humongous hill for us as a little boy.
It used to be called Churchill.
Sipal.
Sipal shop.
This is Sipal's shop right here.
Now
This
owned by the Bantams.
The Bantams don't own it. We used to live right there too. The house was right there. We used to live
right
there. Right? And A church used to be over here. What used to be over your house?
No, where's a little house used to be there, we used to call over here Park Yard.
Park Yard, over there.
Belong to the Anglican Church, which is across the way here.
Yes, and if you take a look here, you can take a shot at that sign. See the Anglican Church?
Which probably we better come out and do it because it's about connection with the school itself.
Yeah, okay. So come right to this bell. It's still in? Alright, we're now in the Anglican churchyard. And as a little boy, we used to walk through this churchyard here. Right, a number of fruit plum tree used to be here. Apple trees are here, but I want you to take a look at the bell. You could stay as far as Fort Stewart and hear this bell. When this bell rings, take a look at this bell right here. Tony, does this bell ring anymore?
As you notice, the rope to it has been removed, so they doesn't use it anymore.
Okay. Take a good shot at that bell right there. And of course, the Anglican Church. Is it still operative?
Recently, no, they have now removed it to where the school is.
Okay, the Anglican Church
School was,
is moved now to where Enfield School
was. Because it is all church land. As you know, in those days, church controlled most education.
Right.
So the old Enfield School was built on the Anglican church land.
Okay.
Since they have been relocated further down to Fort Stewart, the church, in trying to do their own renovation, has now taken on a part of the school as their building and are now thinking of making up their church structure.
Over there. So an official church will be now where the school used to be.
Yeah, the school used to be.
But it's famous. And the reason why this stands out, because these wood was sand dash. Right? It was very beautiful when you look at the texture of these wood. Right? You can see the sand dash of the wood gives it this nice, beautiful color. You know? And of course, come, you want to take a look inside? Come on, you can take a look inside. Wow. History, if you take a look, this is almost rattled down now. Right? This is where the pastor used to go up and preach. So the pastor used to go up these steps. Tony, you're a little bit lighter than me. Let's just walk up these steps and show you what it looks like with you in the pulpit. Yeah, Tony got more actually doing his first sermon. Tony, you look good up there, man.
I think I must try.
You must try it. but this is like condemned now. So what the plan on doing with this?
I think the old thing is so
Demolished? Okay. But at least we capture what's left of it.
which is unfortunate because I have someone else to capture.
The Enfield School was
And the whole section of the Enfield School, the wooden section before it was demolished. I did it on a camera, and unfortunately the whole thing
didn't come out. So it's just in our imagination there. See, some of the few benches still exist in this church, and as you see, it's deteriorating fast. So pretty soon, we will not have this building here anymore. So at least the powers that be has gave us an opportunity to come here and capture history, the history of Enfield. Ask the Almighty God and give thanks to the Almighty God for giving me the opportunity to be able to stand in front of this building. Because this building, a lady by the name of Birdie Bernard used to live right here. Now Miss Birdie Bernard is one of the greatest person in Enfield to me and my family. When Miss Girlie Brown taught me how to read, we still had to get material to read because we wanted to read everything. Now Miss Birdie Bernard and the postman bring the newspaper every day. You remember the postman used to come here with a under 50 bag? Posey. And Posey used to bring the newspaper. No, Miss Bernard wasn't a selfish lady. She was not. She was a lady that made, after she read the newspaper, she would make the newspaper available for myself and Glenn to read. Of course, we used to read the comic strip. We used to read about the Phantom. We used to read about Garth. We used to read about Flash Garden. We used to read about all kind of stuff in the newspaper. So, Miss Birdie Bernard, Patricia Bernard, I'm doing this one especially for you. I know you're out there and I know you're a good supporter of Big Stone, but I just want to let the entire world know that this lady, oftentimes, you know what Miss Birdie used to do? Because we were so poor, Miss Birdie used to say, come Claude, come Glenn. And she used to take us there. That's how Mr. Bernard used to drive this big truck. You remember that big truck? And she used to say, come Claude. And she used to bathe us. Miss Birdie used to bathe me and Glenn and make sure she found clothes that could fit. Right? Ain't nothing wrong if you cannot afford a shirt, or you cannot afford a pants, or you cannot afford a dress, and someone give it to you. Ain't no shame in our game. We used to walk to this school, barefooted, all the way from Junior Pen, all the way to Enfield. Right in front here, come on Tony, right in front here, as you see, is a thinking tour tree. What is it? What's the scientific name for this tree right here? The scientific name, Tony tells me, is the locust tree. But we call this tree the thinking tour tree. Come with me. This is the school gate. We used to walk through this gate right here. Right, remember? But we used to cut through. We used to cut through Firestone. We used to cut through a little track. Because when we're late in the morning and the school bell is about to ring, we cannot let the school bell ring and we're not in school. So when we get to the bridge right here, me and my brother barefooted, we used to run through that track. There used to be a standpipe right over there. We had to make sure that we wash our foot, because you cannot, remember, you cannot go to school with dirty feet. Now this tree is very important. This tree is well over 100 years old. Does it still bear locust? It still bears locust. See, if you take a look up, we still have locust on the tree. This tree used to be loaded. Look at this. Hey, I gotta do this for the camera. I just have to do this for the camera. This is how it used to be. Look, this is how it used to be. I want you to take this fast on. Right? Sometimes we're hungry, man. Sometimes my mom and dad couldn't afford food for us to come to school, but we still come to school anyway, because we realize at that young age that going to school was very important. And I'm saying to all the youngsters, it doesn't matter if you're poor, man. If you go to school, you listen to your teacher, you pay attention, you too can become somebody. All right? Now, I'm going to break this. You see how easy that was? We take away the shell, and this powdery substance right here, let's take a look. You want a piece? Take a look at this. Patricia Bernard, heat your heart out. The thinking too sweet. The thinking too sweet. Look at this tree. I remember when I was about 5 years old, I was reading like crazy. And Miss Sims, may God bless her soul, and Miss Moore used to teach us from right underneath this tree. There was one set of student here, another set of student here, another set of students. So we were right around this tree. Right? And we used to have a ball in the schoolyard. Now if you take a look, come with me. We're going to talk to you folks in a minute. But that was what, the canteen over there. If you take a look, this used to be underneath the school. There were classrooms, right here, underneath this here, right? There are classrooms right here. What this bring back a lot of memories, Tony. And then when you, that is the senior section now. Yeah. And to build that place. Well, guess what now? Let's go over here, Tony. Because I remember, see this pipe right here? Come. Let me show you a piece of the history that hopefully we can document this. That our children and our children to come will see how we live in that age. There used to be pipes right here. If you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We used to come right here and wash your hands and wash your feet. You can't go to school with a dirty feet. It's impossible. Tony, come here, man. Man, I couldn't have done this without you, Tony. What kind of memories you have here at the school here, man? Talk to me.
You just started a while ago by talking about the thinking to a tree.
Yeah.
I got this cut right under the thinking to a tree.
Oh, come. Tell us that. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself for this. Tony Gutsmore is going to tell you how he got the scar under the thinking to a tree. Go ahead, Tony.
Because early one morning, one youngster, schoolmate of mine, came to school with a bottle of milk.
Yeah.
So accidentally the milk bottle broke under the tree. Those days, a part of our chores as children were to sing this song, bits of paper hang on the ground. Make the place untidy,
Make the place untidy, pick them up.
So we were in the process of picking up these papers and the leaves under the trees and things.
Yeah.
So I stumbled upon this bottle and started to pick up the bottle. But there comes the fun part of the thing now, which is we normally used to grab one another paper and trash. We go to the garbage heap.
Yeah.
So this guy came to grab up my thing, and in lifting it up from him,
right in his head. There's a lot of blood?
Oh, straight to the clinic.
Straight to the credit. The good old credit that Tony's telling you to rejuvenate that. But this brings back a lot of great memories. I remember Miss Lee used to live behind there. Right?
The house behind it.
A house behind there. I remember she used to live right behind the school. May her soul rest in peace. So let's call a couple of names if we can remember. Teacher Lee, Teacher Sims, Teacher Bennett.
Jackie Henry.
You remember Rangotan?
Rangalang.
Hey, if you can remember, and I know Patricia Bernard must can remember. Rangolang, we used to call him Rangotang. He never played. That Indian man, he was an Indian man, you know. Indian man used to have a cane this long. And let me tell you something, is if you're not do good in a school, you're going to be caned. And when him stand up and give 1, it reached all the way to the back between your buttocks right there. And that is a serious, it's a serious. So I just want to big up all the teachers. Miss Bennett, Miss Sims, left hand, Miss Sims, Miss Moore,
Miss Simpson,
Miss Simpson, Miss Turlong,
Mr. Ricketts.
Mr. Ricketts, how could I forget?
There were some very prominent teachers, Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Miss Willis.
Miss Willis, oh, could have Miss Willis. I can't forget Miss Willis had a nice gap. You remember? Miss Willis was a pretty. I guess she still is. Miss Willis, I love you then and I love you now because you also helped to make Claude the person that he has become. Miss Willis, I want to look into the camera. I know you're still alive. And I only hope the friends of Enfield will be able to take this footage that we shoot, this documentary of this great place, and put it in the archive so that our children will get a chance to see where greatness all started. What I think into a sweet in a virgin. Look at what we come on out there. Well, don't shoot the camera. Don't stop rolling, fast, no. Don't stop rolling. This is the canteen. Tony, you remember bulgur rice?
Yes, bro.
No, the girls are only know bulgur rice. We know Firestone and know nothing about bulgur rice. Right? What used to be the office right here? The library?
The office.
The office was right here.
Yes, the office. The principal.
I remember the library was there too, Tony.
The library was the other side.
Yeah. Come with us. This was the office. The principal's office. And then this is the library. Right? I remember I used to borrow great books and read. One of my favorite books was Nola.
Okay. In those days, we have a lot of young warriors.
Young warriors, remember? Just bring back a lot of memories. And then, once you get up here now,
Senior section.
this is the senior section of the school. I remember I used to sit over here. I don't know what grade this was, but
5 and 6.
5 and 6, right? And yeah. So you start all the way down here from underneath the tree. You end up on the platform, and this is where your final resting place is right here. So I remember Miss Lee used to go to the chalkboard right here. There was a chalkboard right here in this wall. And we used to have a bar, teaching and learning. And then when the rain started falling, it was fun because when the wind blows,
You sit here, you have to see.
you have to move. You have to move. You have to move. Let's take a nice pan. Let's take a nice scene. Just look. Look at the thinking toe tree. Look at Miss Birdie building. Look, let's take a look. Let's going down. This was taking us into the second floor of the school, right? This step right here.
The board building now would be from here. Right?
From here. Okay, so the big massive school
So then,
right here. How you doing?
so then you are a friend of mine, you know, who this used to be a very high building. So it was considered a very bright boy. So one day somebody said to him, "Oh, you're so bright. I mean, I know you're going to high school." He said, "Joke you make. I Enfield High School, man." Yeah.
Fun memories. Yep. How can we forget a piece of our history? I was happy to be a part of this great school. I'm happy to be a part of this great school because without the Enfield School, the Big Stone would never amount to anything. You told it? Without the Big Stone, would never amount to anything. And the beautiful thing about it, come here, Tony. The beautiful thing about this school, if you pan the camera, you'll see how beautiful the mountain tops is. Let's take a look. All fresh and green. Let's look around. Right? There's no, what you call it? There's no pollution. The air is fresh and clean. And this is just fantastic. This is just fantastic. What we're going to do, come here. There are a couple of older folks. I'm going to talk to them and find out. Keep it rolling and find out, you know, what would it like for them. Come with me. Why? I can pick up that camera and pick it through. I told you. Yeah? They have one thinking tour, Firestone. So we have 2 thinking tour. We have 3 thinking tour. I want to tell you something. We were so poor. We were so poor coming to this school that this used to be our lunch. We didn't have a problem with this. You know, this gentleman here, I don't remember your name though, my brother. But this gentleman is a foundation. What is your name, ma'am? What's his name?
Collins.
Can I sit right here?
Yes.
Pull over and let me sit right beside you.
Yes, right down in here.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the great tour, the great documentary of Enfield. Now we've been to a lot of historical places, but this place, right underneath that thinking tour, this is for my breakfast in the morning, and then this is for my lunch, and then we know so some more thinking tour go drop, you know. So we have thinking tour for dinner. I'm here with a lady that is from the little district of Mount Joseph. Now Mount Joseph is all the way up in the hills.
Yes.
And Miss Leonore Collins, that's her name, never attended the school, but she know about the great history of Enfield School. How you feel, Miss Collins?
Okay.
You feel sick today?
Yes.
Warm to you, Miss Collins, man.
Pain, man. Pain. Pain.
Just pain and pain,
Pain and pain.
pain and pain. Like a little arthritis also?
Yes. Not much.
Not much though.
No.
How old are you, Miss Collins?
87 years old.
Miss Collins is 87 years old. My. Miss Collins, you see this, what we're doing? We're doing this because I remember and I have great memories of this great school. But we want our children, we want our grandchildren, we want our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren to remember this great school. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. We love you and we hope you live another 187 years.
Thank you.
Do you have a song that any aim or anything that you want to sing with me?
Yes.
Which one of them?
Give me chorus I want.
Give me a chorus, then, man.
Come go with me. Come go with me. Blessed Jesus, come go with me.
Pum pum,
For
come.
I have no sense, no power of my own. Blessed Jesus, come go with me.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go with me. Come again.
Come go with me. Come go with me. Blessed Jesus, come go with me. For I have no power of my own. Blessed Jesus, come go with us.
Blessed Jesus, come go with us.
Yes.
Miss Leonore Collins, she is from the district of Mount Joseph. She's 87 years old. And can I sing happy birthday? When was your birthday?
1st of January, 1928.
She was born the 1st of January. She's Capricorn. All right, we're now in April. So I'm going to sing a happy belated birthday for you.
Yes, I'll be glad.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Leonore Collins. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? 87. How old are you? 87. How old are you now? Happy birthday to you. Give me a kiss. Mwah. For she's a jolly good fellow. She's a jolly good fellow. She's a jolly good fellow. The ticket to them in a throat, you know. But nobody can deny. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. How much children do you have?
We have 8 but two died.
She had 8 children, but 2 passed away. How much grandchildren do you have, Miss Collins?
17.
Miss Collins have 17 grandpicnic.
I'm one great-grand.
And you have great-grand too?
Yes.
So what happened to your husband?
He's dead.
Is that, how many years ago did he pass?
10 years now.
Her husband passed away. What was his name?
Clovis Collins.
Clovis.
You know.
Me know him?
You know him?
Me and him got school together, you know, man.
Oh, yes.
Me and him got Enfield school together?
Yes.
Miss Clovis Collins.
You know, preach it, you know.
Go and talk then.
Oh, you know.
No, man, I your time for talk, man. Because you remember you're older than me, no?
Again.
What you want to talk about?
Talk about, I can't remember. You can't remember everything, you know.
You can't remember everything.
No.
Well, I'm going to my pocket and see if I can remember this. Eh? This is $500. I want to give it to you.
Thank you, my darling.
Because you're the only person that I came in contact with. And we had a ball. You want to shout out to anybody? Who you want to shout out to now?
Who?
Anybody who in the business? Who? Anybody you want to shout out?
Mr. George.
Mr. George, Mr. George, come here. Find the camera for Mr. George. See, Mr. George, come right here, sir. You know, Mr. George is still right here, sir. And when Mr. John see me, I come, him take time, get up, and God. Can Mr. John just want me to ask him that question? What? You have arthritis to say foot? A pleasure, man. My name is Claude Sinclair, but they call me Big Stone. You know me, Mr. John? You know my father? Lord Jesus. Lana, this pearl was my mother. Boy. May I tell you? So you know this is a blessed day for me to come here and to be able to sit with Miss Collins and you, Mr. George, and talk to everyone. So Patricia Bernard, this one is dedicated to you. This is your school. This is your school. This is our school. This is all of our school. And guess what? You see this thinking to a tree? It's well over 100 years old. And if them don't take it down, which I hope the church don't take it down, you know, man. This is a landmark, you know. Right? So don't take this tree down because this tree have a lot of memories. And I'm very happy that I was able to bring my camera crew from Firestone Production to capture this school, what's left of it. Alright? Firestone, you not get back them thinking to it. You not get back them thinking to it. You could have done. You know, Miss Collins. Boy, Big Stone, one and five have to make juice.
Jaldin, come here, please.
Come here, John. Who's this gentleman?
My son.
A liar, tell Jaldin. Boy, yeah, Miss Collins, speak there. Come sit down, brother, sir. Come sit down. Come sit down right here, sir, man. You not have to know me, brother. You not have to know me. Yes. Right. Come now, come right side of me to the man. You know what? Come that picture to make everybody see. You know, the family name for foreign. What a lady name? Miss who? Claude. Yes, a Claude. Oh, you know something named Claude, sir? You think it is, Miss Girlie? I want to thank you as the elders. Lord Jesus, so you know them people there, Miss Girlie, man. Jesus, friend, my mother and sister there, she call, you know. Lana is really Janet Sinclair that used to write advice to the loved one in the papers. Now, the reason why I bring it up, Miss Girlie, they say that it wasn't my sister Janet Sinclair that was writing in the Star because she too black. They thought Janet Sinclair was a white woman. A lot of people, ooh, that can't be Janet Sinclair. Janet Sinclair, me know Janet Sinclair. Janet Sinclair is a white woman. Papa died about 14 years now. And my mother died 25 years. My father died the 14th of December, 1999. And my mother died the 25th. Glenn.
Right.
So you know everybody there, Miss Girlie, man.
Fear. Where is fear?
Fear they are foreign, you know. Fear they are Florida. You know what I mean? Wow, no, it made me feel so good. I had a beautiful time. Thank you all for talking to me. Thank you all for accommodating me. You bring me you see, the pack up a thinking to it. What's that? First of all, pass that one for Miss Girlie. Give me that one now. Nobody now get none of that thinking to it. I'm going to deal.
Look at the motor.
Look at nobody, me not get Firestone. You not get none of me thinking to. Look on there. You say them pretty, you not get none. You not get none. You not get none.
Yes, I like to say, big up to the world. I know that all over the world there are Enfield Force. And just beginning a list like this, by calling out name, I've been doing injustice.
To a lot of people, I can't remember everybody.
So I just want to say big up and remember Enfield and remember homecoming and be a part of the contribution to the development of Enfield as a go along. God bless you.
That was wonderfully said by Tony Gutsmore. And there are a few things I want to bear in mind. I want to big up the friends of Enfield for every year, for the last, how many years? 5 years. For the last 5 years, the friends of Enfield have been coming back. People that was born here, that is right across the world, some in Canada, some in the United States, some in England, some in all parts of the world. But they select what? In August?
No.
In August every year for the last 5 years, they come back to Enfield and they give back to the community. They paint the community centers, they do all kind of community work to strengthen and build the community. So for those who are out there, what are some of the people that are involved? The name of the organization that is that? We have Friends of Enfield, you know.
Friends of Enfield and the Enfield Community Development Council.
The Enfield Community Development Council.
And through them we have been able to do a lot of things. I think one of the most important things to me, that whole week of celebration is the week of social interaction where community youngsters come together and to start to tend for our elders. Go in and bathe them, cut their nails, and it's a really fabulous thing to see. And we want to continue the trend and to keep the youngsters knowledgeable and aware of where we want to go and where we're coming from.
Well, Tony, thank you very much, my brother. I know you're not going to come in the water, but Firestone, you can't miss a one either. I want to big up Firestone Production for working assiduously with us in capturing this great legacy and this great history. Firestone! This is a big stone castle! Hey, Tony, the big dude now. Big up to the world! Enfield Middle! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the grand finale of a documentary of Enfield. I had a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular time touring familiar grounds with my friend Tony Gutsmore. And I want to say thank you very much, Tony, for taking time out of your great busy schedule to accommodate us here, myself and Firestone, and to explain to the world the rich legacy of Enfield. Now we're at Macall. Now Tony says, as far as he can remember, over 60 years, this hall has been here. Tell us a little bit more.
It has always been here. It has been a natural place where we come in the evening after work, have our bath, and on Sunday evening this will be like a picnic. The entire community is there, we'll be cooking, we'll be having our bath. We'll be really enjoying ourselves. Sometimes we have the music right here.
You play the music here sometimes?
Having a grand time. When breadfruit season comes around, this is one of the way we start the season.
This is start the season.
And towards the breadfruit of fire.
How much breadfruit? 200 breadfruit, ladies and gentlemen, were put on the fire.
The entire community will come to take up a breadfruit ackee and sausage
and just have a bar.
Have a bar. And it is always in my mind as a place of significance.
If you scan, right, like Tony was telling me, scan all the way and look at this tree.
We're really taking our headers from up here.
All the way from up top, Tony used to go.
And jump back. We climb on those tree roots and go on that link here and take our headers.
Tony,
I remember one day, a number of us came here and one of my friends get into difficulty out there. And they were saying, "You want to see why I joke?" And I was like, "You never say man joke, no make it joke." Only that to realize that no one can make it.
Hey, so Tony, in party, who you want to shout out to? Want to say a big thank you to Maureen Gutsmore for making the idea of using Tony as our chaperone, as our tour guide, because I don't think anybody in Enfield district know about